Mercedes-Benz, one of the leading luxury car manufacturers, is still feeling the heat in the electric vehicle market. The company has reported a challenging third quarter as heavy price cuts and supply chain issues put pressure on their earnings.
Mercedes-Benz's latest announcement has sent shockwaves across the car market. The luxury giant is struggling with declining profits, falling demand, and major miscalculations in the market. Mercedes-Benz is sending a wake-up call to the entire auto industry. What we thought was a well-established powerhouse is now on the verge of a serious crisis. This is a complete reset of the automotive landscape as we know it. But what's going wrong at Mercedes? Why is a company that once dominated the luxury car market suddenly facing so much trouble? And how is this going to affect you? What really happened? Mercedes-Benz's recent financial report has left many in the industry stunned. The once premium automaker, synonymous with luxury and high performance, is facing a dramatic downturn. Their profit margin has plummeted from 10% to just 4.7%. This decline isn't just a minor dip, it's a sign of a much deeper problem. Where did this sudden collapse come from? For starters, demand for their flagship models like the S-Class and the EQ Series EVs has dramatically slowed. Mercedes-Benz overestimated the market for luxury electric vehicles, and the result is an overproduction of high-priced EVs sitting unsold on dealer lots. In fact, some models have been on the market for over 550 days, with no buyers in sight. But that's not all. While Mercedes-Benz has been pushing forward with expensive EV technology, they've neglected the one thing that made them a household name: their core luxury vehicles. As prices continued to rise, consumers simply stopped buying at the same pace. So now we're seeing unsold cars, slipping profits, and the luxury market on alert. The bigger problem: Mercedes-Benz isn't alone in its struggles. The automotive industry is seeing major shifts across the board, and it's a global issue. From Volkswagen to BMW, every major automaker is grappling with rising costs and falling demand. Part of the issue lies in the ongoing push toward electric vehicles. Legacy car makers like Mercedes-Benz and Volkswagen invested billions of dollars in EV production, betting on a market that hasn't materialized as quickly as they expected. This miscalculation has left them with huge inventories of expensive cars that no one wants to buy, and they're now looking for ways to cut costs and save face. In fact, these aren't just North American issues. In China, a major market for luxury vehicles, Mercedes-Benz's S-Class isn't selling as expected, and their EV models, with their high price tags, aren't appealing to the mass market. Consumers are turning to more affordable alternatives, and this signals a larger trend that's hitting manufacturers everywhere. So why should you care about this? Well, this isn't just an issue that affects Mercedes-Benz or luxury car buyers. It's a problem that's going to affect everyone in the automotive world. When a company like Mercedes-Benz, which once stood at the pinnacle of luxury and innovation, starts facing a financial collapse, the ripples are felt across the entire market. First off, the price of new cars is only going to continue to rise. As luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz cut their prices to stay competitive, expect more price hikes across the board. Your next vehicle could cost significantly more, especially with automakers struggling to balance rising production costs with declining demand. Secondly, dealerships are going to feel the pain. With inventory piling up, there are already reports of major layoffs and dealership closures. This disruption isn't just limited to high-end luxury brands. It could spread to more affordable brands, forcing consumers to face longer waiting times and higher prices. For those who are looking to trade in or sell their cars, the market's uncertainty may lead to lower offers from dealerships trying to offload unsold inventory. This may lead to a wider collapse of the automotive ecosystem as we know it. If top-tier brands like Mercedes-Benz can't keep up, what's to stop smaller automakers from going under? This could be a pivotal moment in the auto industry, one that will affect everyone from high-end buyers to those just looking for an affordable sedan. The EV dream that turned into a nightmare. Mercedes-Benz was once the epitome of luxury, with its sleek designs, cutting-edge technology, and unrivaled reputation in the automotive world. But now, the same brand that commanded attention on every street corner is facing a crisis. What's at the core of this shift? The company's overly ambitious leap into electric vehicles. Mercedes-Benz's journey into electric vehicles, or electric-powered cars, began with great fanfare. The company was determined to be a leader in the transition away from traditional combustion engines. Investing billions in electric car technology, they unveiled impressive concepts, promising to deliver the future of driving today. But as time has shown, this was more of a gamble than a surefire plan. The reality of their electric vehicle strategy is now far removed from the image they projected. The first major issue Mercedes-Benz encountered was a miscalculation of demand. The company's expectations for electric vehicle sales were overly optimistic. They projected that luxury buyers would flock to electric cars just as quickly as they did for their traditional offerings. However, the market didn't respond the way they had hoped. Consumers, especially in key regions like the United States, Germany, and China, were more hesitant than anticipated. The allure of a greener future simply couldn't overcome the realities of range anxiety, high prices, and a lack of charging infrastructure. As a result, Mercedes-Benz found itself with an enormous overproduction of electric vehicles. In the United States, electric vehicles such as the EQ series were being manufactured in large numbers, but the consumer demand just wasn't there. On top of that, these electric vehicles were priced significantly higher than many of their traditional counterparts, alienating potential buyers. Even though the brand's electric vehicle models were packed with advanced technology and premium features, they simply weren't affordable enough for the average buyer. At the same time, the rich buyers they had targeted in places like China weren't as enthusiastic about the electric options as Mercedes had hoped. The luxury electric market wasn't ready to take over, and the push for affordable luxury electric cars didn't align with the true needs of the masses. This miscalculation led to unsold cars piling up on dealership lots. As of 2023, Mercedes-Benz had seen the EQB, a smaller and more affordable electric SUV, languish in inventory for months. Vehicles that were meant to represent the future of Mercedes-Benz were instead sitting idle, collecting dust, and accumulating massive depreciation. Mercedes-Benz's global sales figures began to reflect these issues. The company's profit margins, once averaging around 10%, dropped to 4.7%. The decline in profitability was a direct result of the massive overproduction and lack of demand. These electric vehicles, which Mercedes had invested so heavily in, were now a burden rather than an asset. The company had to continue producing the vehicles while watching their prices drop, and this created an untenable situation. With profit margins shrinking and inventory levels rising, it became clear that something needed to change fast. The pricing problem. One of the most significant hurdles Mercedes-Benz faces is the pricing problem. Mercedes-Benz, as a luxury brand, has always operated in a different stratosphere from the typical car market. Their vehicles have been designed with luxury in mind, and prices have traditionally reflected this. However, as the automotive market shifts towards electric vehicles, Mercedes-Benz finds itself in a tough position. The price tags on their electric models are far higher than many competitors, and the demand simply doesn't justify the premium. Take the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, for example, one of their flagship models. Even in the electric vehicle version, the price can easily exceed $135,000. For that kind of money, buyers expect an experience that justifies the cost. Unfortunately, despite its premium features, the S-Class electric version just hasn't caught on. Even in China, which has long been a key market for Mercedes-Benz, the vehicle's pricing has proven to be a barrier for many potential buyers. The S-Class, once seen as the epitome of luxury, is now being viewed as a luxury too far. In fact, some electric vehicles are sitting in dealerships for over 500 days without being sold. These vehicles, which cost well into the six-figure range, aren't selling. The pricing simply doesn't align with what today's consumers are willing to spend, especially when alternatives from other automakers, such as those from Tesla or Audi, are offering similar electric models at more competitive prices. One of the problems with Mercedes-Benz's pricing strategy is that they underestimated how much the average buyer would be willing to spend on an electric vehicle. While a traditional Mercedes-Benz buyer may have been willing to pay a premium for a luxury car, the shift to electric vehicles has changed the playing field. Consumers are looking at electric vehicles in a new light. It's not just about performance and luxury anymore. It's about affordability and value. The high price of Mercedes-Benz's electric vehicles is simply not attracting enough customers to justify the cost of production. The ripple effect. The issues Mercedes-Benz faces are not only affecting the company's bottom line, but they are also wreaking havoc on its dealership network. Dealerships are the first point of contact between the company and the consumer, and they are feeling the strain of the company's production missteps. Across the country, Mercedes-Benz dealers are struggling to move the massive amount of unsold inventory. Dealerships are sitting on electric vehicles that no one wants to buy, and this has created a major financial burden. With electric vehicles piling up on their lots, dealerships are forced to engage in heavy discounting just to move the stock. This has a direct impact on the dealership's profitability, as discounts and price reductions erode the margins on each sale. Dealerships are also facing a backlash from consumers who are increasingly dissatisfied satisfied with the brand's direction. Consumers expect their luxury vehicle purchases to provide them with a certain level of exclusivity, but with electric vehicles flooding the market, the allure of owning a Mercedes-Benz has started to fade. Dealerships are finding it difficult to convince consumers that paying a premium for a Mercedes electric car is a sound investment when similar vehicles from other manufacturers come at a lower price point. On top of this, the shift to electric vehicles has caused inventory imbalances. While Mercedes-Benz dealers have an abundance of luxury electric vehicles, they are struggling to stock other models that could sell in greater numbers. This misalignment of inventory is leaving dealers with fewer options to offer the customers who visit their showrooms. So what now? Mercedes-Benz has been one of the world's most iconic luxury brands, but it is now at a crossroads. Can they turn things around, or is the damage too deep? For Mercedes-Benz to survive this crisis, a radical shift in strategy is needed. The first step in the recovery process is an adjustment in pricing. Mercedes-Benz must align its prices with the realities of the market. Electric vehicles should be affordable and accessible to a wider audience. While Mercedes has traditionally been a high-end brand, they can't ignore the fact that the electric vehicle market is driven by value and cost efficiency. Consumers want the latest technology, but they are also looking for affordable options. Mercedes-Benz also needs to reconsider its production strategies. Overproducing expensive electric vehicles is a major mistake, and the company needs to pull back on its EV production quotas. Instead, they should focus on producing a more balanced mix of electric vehicles and traditional vehicles that meet the needs of different consumer segments. By scaling back production and recalibrating their marketing efforts, Mercedes-Benz could shift its focus to the most popular models while waiting for the electric vehicle market to mature. Furthermore, the company must engage with its dealerships in a more collaborative manner. The relationship between Mercedes-Benz and its dealers has been strained by the inventory glut and poor sales. Mercedes needs to provide dealers with the support and resources they need to sell vehicles, whether that's through better incentives or by restructuring dealer compensation. The goal should be to create a more sustainable long-term relationship that benefits both Mercedes-Benz and the dealers, helping them navigate the difficult times ahead. Weakness at the top. The struggles faced by Mercedes-Benz are not isolated to just this one automaker. In fact, it's a warning signal that the entire luxury car market is beginning to falter. For decades, brands like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi have stood at the pinnacle of automotive luxury, offering products that were synonymous with prestige, reliability, and cutting-edge technology. But now, these once untouchable giants are starting to show signs of vulnerability. This trend is not limited to Mercedes-Benz. BMW has faced its own challenges with slipping sales in key markets, particularly in North America and China. The company has been caught in a similar bind, overestimating demand for its premium electric vehicles, while its traditional gas-powered models are being left behind as consumer preferences shift. Much like Mercedes-Benz, BMW's high prices and overproduction of certain models have created inventory issues, with luxury SUVs and sedans sitting unsold on dealership lots for months. What's particularly alarming is that the weaknesses are starting to show even at the top of the market. When luxury brands begin to struggle, it signals a far-reaching issue that could ripple throughout the entire industry. Historically, the top-tier car manufacturers have been insulated from economic downturns by their exclusive appeal. After all, luxury buyers tend to be less sensitive to price increases or market fluctuations. However, today, even the wealthiest buyers are tightening their belts, questioning whether a premium price is truly worth it for the features offered. This shift is evident in the way that consumers are reevaluating their priorities. Electrification is becoming a key factor in the purchasing decisions, and luxury automakers like Mercedes-Benz and BMW are now fighting an uphill battle to make their electric offerings stand out. While Tesla, a relative newcomer, has firmly entrenched itself as a leader in the electric vehicle market, established brands are struggling to catch up. Tesla's affordable electric cars, especially the Model 3 and Model Y, are attracting a wider range of buyers, even those who might not have considered electric cars in the past. In contrast, Mercedes-Benz has failed to make its electric models as appealing across the board. While some buyers might be willing to shell out for the high-end models, many others are deterred by the sticker shock that comes with luxury EVs. The fact that Mercedes-Benz was betting heavily on its electric offerings to carry the company forward has backfired. It's a problem shared by many high-end brands, overpricing and underestimating demand, leading to unsold inventory and shrinking profit margins. As the luxury car market faces these struggles, it's becoming clearer that it's not just the bottom-end manufacturers like Nissan and Ford that are struggling. Even the top-tier brands, which once seemed bulletproof, are now showing cracks in their foundations. The EV hype bubble. The push for electric vehicles has been a major theme across the automotive industry in recent years, with every major automaker betting big on electric cars. For Mercedes-Benz, the transition to electric vehicles was seen as crucial to its future. However, this rush into the electric vehicle market has led to some serious miscalculations, both in terms of demand and production capacity. The reality is that the electric vehicle market bubble may be about to burst, and Mercedes-Benz is in danger of being caught in the fallout. When the electric vehicle hype began, there was an overwhelming optimism surrounding the sector. Consumers and manufacturers alike were enamored with the idea of zero-emission vehicles, but as we now see, the market is not ready for such a dramatic shift. The infrastructure needed to support the large-scale adoption of electric vehicles, including widespread charging stations and improved battery technology, is still in its early stages. This isn't to say that electric vehicles don't have a future. They absolutely do, but Mercedes-Benz's early push into electric cars was too aggressive and too premature. They overestimated the demand for luxury EVs, thinking that affluent buyers would flock to high-end electric models without considering the practical challenges of owning an electric car. Range anxiety, high prices, and a lack of charging infrastructure have made it difficult for electric vehicles to gain widespread consumer acceptance. And it's not just Mercedes-Benz that's facing these difficulties. Across the board, automakers have struggled with the EV push. Volkswagen, a major player in the electric vehicle market, has faced similar hurdles, with production delays, quality issues, and disappointing sales figures for its ID series electric vehicles. Even Tesla, the leader in electric cars, is not immune to challenges. While their vehicles have revolutionized the industry, Tesla has also seen its fair share of production hiccups, and its once unassailable dominance is being threatened by competitors like Rivian and Lucid Motors, which are now offering alternatives in the electric SUV and luxury EV segments. The problem is that electric vehicles, especially luxury ones, are still a niche market. Mercedes-Benz and its competitors were too quick to assume that the market would be ready for a mass shift to electric mobility. The shift is happening, but it's happening slower than anticipated. Consumers are looking for more affordable options, and charging infrastructure remains a challenge in many regions. As a result, luxury automakers that bet heavily on electric vehicles are facing a harsh reality check. Their sales projections are off, and their profit margins are shrinking. The impact on everyday consumers. As we watch luxury automakers like Mercedes-Benz struggle, it's important to consider the broader implications for the automotive industry and, more specifically, for everyday consumers. The ripple effect of Mercedes-Benz's troubles is being felt across the industry. When a high-end brand like Mercedes-Benz faces a downturn, it's a signal that the entire market is under strain. Prices are rising and sales are slowing across the board. Consumers who are looking to purchase new cars, whether they are in the luxury market or not, are finding it increasingly difficult to make purchases. One of the immediate consequences of the ongoing struggles in the luxury car market is that prices for all vehicles are rising. As luxury automakers cut prices to move inventory, they are still unable to break the cycle of high production costs. The push towards electric vehicles, while necessary, has created higher costs for manufacturers, and these costs are being passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. For consumers in the market for a new car, this means that their purchase power is being diminished. In particular, consumers looking at new luxury vehicles are finding that prices are creeping higher with little relief in sight. Even with discounts and incentives from dealerships, the prices of electric vehicles remain daunting, and many are now questioning whether it's worth it to purchase an electric car when the prices seem so inflated. On the other hand, even those seeking more affordable vehicles are being hit with price increases as automakers struggle to keep up with the rising cost of production. Brands like Nissan, Ford, and Chevrolet are also feeling the pinch as supply chain disruptions, rising materials costs, and inflation have driven up vehicle prices. In fact, the average price of a new car in the United States has now surpassed $45,000, making it increasingly difficult for the average consumer to afford new vehicles. Mercedes-Benz's next moves. Mercedes-Benz's troubles are far from over, but what happens next? With the automotive industry undergoing a major shakeup, this is a critical time for the company. The future of Mercedes-Benz and potentially other luxury automakers is on the line. In order to survive, Mercedes-Benz will need to rethink its entire strategy and find ways to adapt to the changing market. One of the first changes the company must make is to restructure its electric vehicle offerings. The current lineup of electric vehicles, including models like the EQB and the EQS, are simply too expensive for the broader market. If Mercedes-Benz wants to capture a larger share of the electric vehicle market, it will need to introduce more affordable models that offer the same luxury and performance Mercedes is known for, but at a more competitive price point. By scaling back the price tag on their electric vehicles, Mercedes-Benz can appeal to a larger range of consumers who are looking to make the switch to electric without breaking the bank. At the same time, Mercedes-Benz must reconsider its production strategy. The overproduction of high-end electric vehicles has left the company with unsold stock piling up at dealerships, and that has hurt their profitability. Instead of continuing to flood the market with expensive, luxury-focused electric cars, Mercedes-Benz could benefit from a more balanced approach, producing affordable electric models alongside its traditional high-end offerings. With a focus on value and affordability, Mercedes-Benz could attract a more diverse customer base and position itself as a leader in the mainstream electric vehicle market. Mercedes-Benz must ensure its core models remain competitive in the market. While electric vehicles are a major part of the company's future, they cannot ignore the traditional models that built their reputation. The S-Class, E-Class, and other mainstays in the Mercedes-Benz lineup must evolve to meet consumer needs, with improved fuel efficiency, updated technology, and more competitive pricing. Maintaining a strong presence in the luxury sedan and SUV markets will help Mercedes-Benz weather the storm and continue to attract loyal customers who aren't quite ready to make the jump to electric. The industry reset. As Mercedes-Benz rethinks its strategy, the entire automotive industry is in the midst of a reset. What happens now won't just affect one brand, but could reshape the entire market. If Mercedes-Benz is facing such a significant downturn, what does that mean for other automakers? Are we witnessing the beginning of a larger industry-wide collapse? Or is this simply the growing pains of an industry trying to evolve? One thing is clear, the days of high profit margins for luxury automakers are numbered. As consumer preferences shift toward more affordable and efficient vehicles, automakers will have to adapt. Brands that are slow to innovate or too committed to their high-priced offerings may not survive the changes coming to the industry. Electric vehicles are here to stay, but they need to become affordable for the average consumer. As the world moves toward greener energy, automakers will be forced to push for cost-effective electric vehicles that don't just appeal to the luxury market. The transition will likely lead to more competition in the electric vehicle space, and manufacturers will need to lower their prices to stay competitive. For Mercedes-Benz, this reset could be a wake-up call to refocus on the fundamentals, offering high-quality cars at reasonable prices while balancing the need for sustainability. It's not just about producing the most cutting-edge luxury vehicles, it's about meeting the demand of a rapidly changing automotive landscape. The question remains, will Mercedes-Benz adapt in time, or will it be left behind by an industry that's evolving faster than ever? The next decade in the automotive world will likely look very different from what we see today. New players like Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid are already carving out their place in the market, while legacy brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW are playing catch-up. The most successful brands will be those that can balance innovation with affordability and luxury with practicality. For now, all eyes are on Mercedes-Benz. They have the resources to recover, but the clock is ticking. The automotive world is waiting to see if the company will make the right moves in time to preserve its place at the top of the market. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain, the industry will never be the same again.